Hello and welcome to HPA-Global Insights, where we'll be interviewing experts from the dietary, supplement, nutritional ingredient, and overall natural health food industry. Please like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell, and comment below. Now on with the show. Hi, welcome to another show. Today we're here with our friend Shelley Sapsin, the Director of Market Integrity for Informa. Shelley, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's really nice to be here, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So whereabouts are you right now?
I'm actually in Arizona right now. I usually you'd find me in Boulder, Colorado, but I'm enjoying some Arizona weather right now.
Nice. What's the temperature like there now?
Actually, it's been beautiful, about 68 degrees. It's not too hot. We're getting some hiking done, so it's been really pleasurable.
Yeah, here in Central Texas, we had a cold spell. It got down to 19 degrees and below freezing for a few days, but now we're back up to 60. I think it was 66 today. So it's a nice and sunny day.
It is cold for you.
Yeah, 19 degrees is cold. When you think about Texas is in the south and you're like, oh, okay, 19 degrees, that's pretty cool. So we're here today to talk about you and your job and all the services you get involved in. So why don't you start off by introducing yourself and your department and kind of what you guys do at Informa.
Sure. So our department actually is relatively new. The market integrity piece is a new umbrella program that we've developed, and it covers 3 different programs, and those are really the foundation, and they have been around for a very long time. So our standards program for Natural Products Expo is a 20 plus year old program. That's how we help businesses get into Natural Products Expo and meet our eligibility criteria, our ingredient standards, and federal regulations. And then we do the same for our Supplyside ingredient event here in the US and help businesses there as well. And then our Market Ready Consulting program actually helps businesses when they have trouble with eligibility or when they want to meet full US labeling requirements. So we help a lot of international businesses through Market Ready when they're entering the US market.
And do you have any, for example, Expo West or Supplyside, do you guys have a team of people that walk around at all and kind of make sure that, some of these companies are following these standards and not just, throwing claims up on their backdrop that, are, breaking some of the DSHEA regulations? Do you have anybody that does that?
Yeah, we actually have a whole team of people who go to each event, but the process actually starts before then. For our finished goods at Natural Products Expo and our ingredient suppliers that go to Expo, they have to submit an application, and we actually review that application to make sure that they are eligible to be at the show. And if they are, then when the show comes around, we have a team of about 5, and they will walk the floors. They visit every booth, and it's actually a really nice process. We end up having great conversations with businesses that we've worked with through the application process. And if something isn't right, they can answer questions. And then we do a lot of follow-up afterwards, letting businesses know. Sometimes they'll bring new marketing, or there'll be a banner, and we'll let them know if there's a problem and then help them with any corrections that need to be made for the next event.
Yeah, now, at all of these shows, since HPA-China is kind of trying to focus, Supplyside West and especially in Expo West to some degree have quite a few Chinese companies attending, ingredient suppliers and whatnot. I would imagine you guys work with a lot of Chinese companies.
We do. We actually have a huge percent of China businesses that come to our events. It makes up a big proportion of all of the businesses that are there. And we do work with them. We work through the agents, and we also work directly with the companies themselves. And we provide a lot of assistance in terms of getting the marketing ready, and also just making sure that the materials that they have are really compelling for the US audience, we'll do a lot of those things to help make sure that businesses are getting the kind of return that they want.
Okay, and obviously this is important work, but can you give some examples of, why this is important for international companies to, take advantage of this or to work with you guys, or maybe you have some little case study type things that show like, what can happen if you don't, go through something like this?
Well, I think one of the things that's really interesting that we can talk about very easily is this standards process. When businesses send in their application, I think you'd anticipate that most of them would be acceptable and a few would not. But as it turns out, and this is particularly true for the international businesses because they're operating in a different regulatory system, we actually have over half of the businesses who are not eligible on the first round when they apply. So it's pretty significant for
Wow.
bulk supply. Only 45% of businesses are actually acceptable when they send their application through the first time.
Wow.
For
I wouldn't imagine that, but yeah, it's amazing.
No, it's a lot. And in dietary supplements, it's 18% acceptable. So the good news is that by the time businesses have worked with us and gone through our standards process or gotten that additional help through Market Ready, we actually are able to accept over 80% of the businesses that apply and get them into Expo. And one of the really nice things, I think, is when they've done that, they're taken so much more seriously by the US retailers because they can tell that the labels are US compliant if they've gone through Market Ready. It's clear that they're ready to be on the retail shelf in the US, or if it's a finished goods manufacturer who's looking to purchase ingredients, they feel confident that the business is compliant with the US regulations. And the way that you typically tell that on an ingredient supplier is you'll see the marketing, and some of the businesses will have wonderful studies. But in the US, even if the results of the study demonstrate the efficacy of the product, there are some claims you just can't make. So if a business is making those claims, then that causes buyers to worry that maybe they don't understand US regulations or they're not compliant. So those are some of the ways I think that it's most helpful to run through that process.
Yeah, I would imagine, having been in China for so long, I've worked with quite a few companies that are, again, it's a different regulatory system, but they have, some botanical formulas that are considered Chinese medicine, and they have very strong medical claims. But in the US market, a lot of those sometimes can typically be marketed as a dietary supplement because there is no drugs in them. They're just botanical extracts, but they want to keep that marketing to flow to all the markets they go to, and you just can't do that with those type of claims on it. And I think it really comes down to just how it's marketed. It has nothing to do in some cases with the ingredients. It's just how you're portraying it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes it really valuable to work with us, because it's not that you have to change the formulation. It's just that you need to change the way you're suggesting the product should be used, and watch those claims. So yeah, it can be very helpful that way.
Yeah, I think, with the Dietary and the structure function claims, we have a very unique market, which is kind of a double-edged sword sometimes. It's nice that we have those structure function claims to make, but they can be limiting sometimes, and in other markets, they don't have those at all. So it's hard. For example, China has health claims. They don't have structure function claims like we do. But again, back to what you mentioned before, like studies. There's so many of our omega-3s and everything that's probiotics. There's so many studies that are targeting certain things, like taking this probiotic we're seeing it's helping to treat diabetes or kidney problems or this or that, but you can't talk about that really.
No, and I think one of the things that comes up most for us is that businesses will have done a study on a population that isn't healthy, right? And it makes sense because they're trying to test the efficacy of the product against a particular condition. But when we see that, if the study wasn't conducted on a healthy population, then it's not a study that can be used to substantiate a claim. And that creates a lot of challenges because most of those studies are performed on populations that have the condition that the product is trying to address.
So what do you guys got? I know this is a kind of work in progress. There's, you just mentioned this is kind of new and there's things coming up. So what kind of new services or plans or activities do you guys have on horizon?
Well, a couple of things actually, and maybe I'll start with market integrity because as I said, while that is new, the programs in it some of them are really part of the identity of our events. But the market integrity is interesting because one of the things we really want to do is focus on not only natural and organic, but this idea that there's integrity behind the product, which is so important for the supply chain. So what we've been doing is trying to highlight businesses that are doing that really well, because brands are interested in finding ingredient suppliers who are organic, who are transparent, who are doing things that contribute to sustainability. Those are all ideas and aspirations that brands really are interested in now. So anything we can do to highlight the ingredient suppliers who are accomplishing that is I think, very helpful. So we're working on programs that really do that. Some of those are digital programs, others are things that we do at our events. But that feels very exciting, and that's part of why we have this new market integrity group. Other things, though, are some of the programs that we're running with Market Ready. For example, we recently started doing foreign facility registrations. A lot of our businesses that come to events want to test their product in the US, and we'll help them at the event, and then they'll have a success, and then they need to do their foreign facility registration to manufacture and ship product into the US. So we'll help them with that. So that's new.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and then we have, of course,
and that's another sorry, and that's kind of an overlooked one because that's part of the process of entering the U.S. market, and it's a free service, but people a lot of times companies just don't do it. They don't know about it, or they don't know how to do it, or there's a language barrier or something. Yeah.
And for the foreign manufacturers, they will also need a U.S. agent. And so it is free to do it, but they will need that U.S. agent. So we've been helping businesses so that they have someone they can use as a U.S. agent in the United States.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. And then I wanted to mention our Supplyside Network 365, particularly even because we have, there's just such a challenge getting over to the United States right now from China. Supplyside Network 365 is our digital version of our events and also a networking community that's 365 days a year. The Supplyside group puts on, I think, more than 5 educational events every week, and there are over 10,000 members on that site. So it's a place where businesses can go actually for free. They can register and they can participate in that community and really have a business profile and make sure that their products are listed, even if they're not able to come to the Supplyside events. So that's recent. That's in the last year. And then our expo does something similar. We do Natural Products Expo virtual, which allows businesses that would like to have a presence at expo, but can't because of the travel situation right now, actually get there pretty inexpensively and have a real presence and participate. It's not the same as being here, but it's pretty close to be able to see all those things running live during the events.
Yeah, we had a similar problem, opposite in some ways, where China never really closed down throughout this whole process. So we've been holding events and conferences in China like we normally do, but without the international part. So a lot of our members that don't have headquarters in China, they weren't able to go because there's a really strict, as I'm sure you've heard, quarantine program in China. But we, a lot of our bigger members have offices and have teams on the ground, so we're able to continue doing our conferences and seminars and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. And we just hope that, it looks like this year is still going to be no go for China. I think they're really going to probably stick with the quarantines for quite a while. And just hope next year we can get back over there and get to the shows over there too. Okay, and so we have a lot of shows coming up. Obviously, there's Expo West is the one that's coming up the quickest here, just in about a month, and you'll be joining me with some other guests. We're going to be doing a China seminar on March 9th, 3:30 to 5:30 at the Marriott. I'll put a little link on there for the time and all that, but looking forward to that. So what other shows besides Expo West, what do you guys going to and participating in?
So we've actually got, in addition to Expo West, we've got Supplyside East coming up. That's in Secaucus, New Jersey. That's in April. So that'll be the next one on the ingredient side. And then, of course, our next roll around is not till fall, and that's Supplyside West over in Las Vegas. So looking forward to all of those. We are knee deep in Expo applications right now, though. So the only thing I'm thinking about right now is getting through all of the applications for Expo. It's been really fortunate because we haven't had that show in person for 2 years. We are just swamped with applications to attend in person for that event.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's been waiting. I mean, that was always my Christmas. It was like Expo West was like Christmas time. See all my friends and industry buddies and new products. We were all like gifts. Like, wow, look at this new product. This is interesting. It's so fun. And we've all been without it for a couple of years, so it's really time that we all get back. It's awesome. But I would imagine still there's going to be quite a few international friends that are not going to be able to come over for the show, unfortunately.
That is definitely the case. And we all have our fingers crossed that for Supplyside West and for Expo East, that everyone will be able to travel again. But if not, there are things that we are already planning to try to help China businesses who would like to be at the event but can't because of travel, to do something special so that they have a different way of exhibiting, even if physically they can't be there in person. So yeah, we are definitely thinking about how to do that and really hoping that we don't have to.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in March at Expo West, and look forward to seeing our friends here that are watching this at Expo West. Hopefully they're all going, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for your time and all your comments. And I'll put your, at the end, we'll have a little nameplate for you. Someone wants to, learn more about the programs, they can contact you.
That sounds great. We're happy to help anyone who wants to come in the US. And thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you at West as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Have a great day, and I hope the weather stays in the 60s and above for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to HPA Global Insights. Please like, subscribe, and share with your colleagues. Any questions or suggestions, email us at info@uschinahpa.org. This channel is operated by US China Health Products Association, which is a nonprofit organization. Please consider joining the association and supporting its global endeavors. Your support is very much appreciated. Until next time, take care.